Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to room F3 of Icadaris 2026. My name is Istifa Shania Putri, and I am honored to be your session chair for today's online session. Okay, in this room, we will have three papers to be presented. The first one is a paper with title Implementation of a Gamified Web-Based One-to-One Mathematics E-Learning Platform for High School Students with paper ID 15712544091, which will be presented by Kevin Purnomo, and the other author are Harko Lesi Hendrik Spitswarnavs from Bina Nusantara University, Kelvin from Bina Nusantara University, Indonesia. And the second performers is with title paper, Understanding Student Experience with Notebook LM, a qualitative study with paper ID 157125628. Will be presented by Mona Mesfer Al-Shardan and Nazik Al-Turki, with the others author are Sarah Al-Turki from Arab Open University, Saudi Arabia, Muhammad Amin Bukhail from Zayed University, United Arab Emirates. And the last is XGBoost with optimal hyperparameter tuning for competency gap prediction, a benchmark model for e-learning analytics with paper ID 15712822599 will be presented by Rutin Handayani, and the other authors are Udi Subakti Cipto Mulyono from Institute Teknologi 10 November, Ratna Dwi from Institute Teknologi 10 November, Indonesia. Okay. So in this room, we have three very interesting papers focusing on e-learning and educational technology. Each presenter will have 15 minutes for their presentation and followed by a brief Q&A session. Please maximize your time for presenting your research. Okay, to keep everything running smoothly, please make sure your microphone are mute while the presenter are speaking. And if you have any question, you can type them in a chat box or raise your hand during Q&A time. Okay, without further ado, let's welcome our first presenter, Kevin Purnomo, who will present the paper title Implementation of a Gamified Web-Based One-to-One Mathematics E-Learning Platform for High School Students. Mr. Kevin, the floor is yours.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Kevin Purnomo from BINUS University. Today, I will present my research titled Implementation of a Gamified Web-Based One-to-One Mathematics E-Learning Platform for High School Students. Before I begin, I would like to introduce my research supervisors, which is Calvin and Harko Leslie Hendrik Spitswarnavs, which sadly will not be attending this presentation today. Okay, this research focuses on implementing a web-based mathematics learning platform that combines structured course content, one-to-one tutoring, and gamified mechanism in one single system. Next. Okay, the presentation is divided into 4 parts. First, I will explain the problem background and research objective. Secondly, I will describe the methodology, including requirement analysis and platform design. Third, I will present the implementation results and testing. And finally, I will close with the conclusion and future work of my research. Next. Okay. Introduction. The main idea of this research is to support high school mathematics learning through 3 components: structured content, personal tutoring, and learning engagement. So, many online learning platforms already support digital education, but they often focus on only one part of the learning process. This research tries to integrate those parts into one operational platform. Mathematics is important for quantitative reasoning and further study readiness. However, Indonesian students still face a lot of challenges in the mathematics achievement. Based on PISA 2022, Indonesian mathematics score was below average, which is 366, while the OECD average was around 472. Only 18% of Indonesian students reach at least level 2. This shows the need for more focused learning support. MOC Star platform provides structured materials, but tutor-student interaction is often limited. Let's take Coursera, for example. The students get a very structured material and exam structure, but they often lack the interaction between the student and the teacher, hence lacking the motivation, and they often just chase the certificate that they could get after finishing the course without actually learning itself. But one-to-one tutoring provides personalization, but it usually lacks integrated curriculum tracking, assessment flow, and engagement mechanisms. Therefore, this research focuses on a web platform that combines modular courses, one-to-one tutoring, and gamified learning elements. Next, let's discuss the research gap and the objective of this research. There are three main gaps addressed in this research. First, structured MOCs are useful for self-paced learning, but interaction and personalization are limited. Secondly, gamified applications can support learning routines, but they are often designed for short independent exercises rather than formal mathematics courses. Third, online tutoring tools support meetings, but scheduling, progress tracking, and assessment are usually separated. Based on these gaps, the objective is to implement a gamified web-based one-to-one mathematics e-learning platform for high school students. The platform integrates modular curriculum, synchronous to the student workflow, assessment tracking, and gamified behavioral loops. The platform is validated through unit testing and alpha testing to check whether there are still issues or not, or maybe the functionality of the platform itself. Okay, now let's discuss the research methodology. Okay, so the requirement derived from three sources. Coursera was used as a reference for modular course structure and progress indicator. Duolingo was used as a reference for gamification patterns such as XP, streaks, achievement, leaderboards, and helper items. One-to-one tutoring domain analysis was used to define the scheduling, attendance, session history, progress monitoring, and assessment needs. After that, the platform was represented using a use case diagram and an entity relationship diagram. The implementation used Laravel 12, MySQL, Inertia JS V2, React 19, Tailwind CSS, and Nginx web server. The testing focused mainly on the functional correctness and technical viability. Okay. Now, let's discuss about the requirement gathering and analysis. Okay, from Coursera, the platform adapted modular curriculum management and progress tracking. From Duolingo, the platform adopted XP updates, achievements, streaks, leaderboards, and control power-up scaffolding. From one-to-one tutoring domain analysis, the platform requires scheduling, attendance, and session records. The non-functional requirements mainly focuses on the security, data integrity, performance, and usability. These requirements become the basis for the use case model and database design. Next. Okay. The use case model separates platform responsibilities into three roles: the students, tutor, and admin. Students focus on learning activities where they can access courses, complete assessments, view progress, use gamification features, join session, and communicate with tutors. Tutors focus on learning delivery and monitoring. They manage schedules, record attendance, grade assessments, monitor progress, and communicate with students, where the admin manages the structural part of the platform, which includes the user, courses, and course content. This role separation supports a clear system workflow and role-based access control. And as you can see from the slide, this is the use case diagram. Okay, next. Now let's discuss the data model. So the ERD divides the platform into four main domains: the user management, class management, gamification, and assessment. One important design decision is the separation between gamification and academic assessment. The gamification records activities, daily tasks, achievement, rewards, and power-up usage, while the assessment records handle the submissions, attempts, score, and final grades. The separation is done to help ensure that gamification support engagement without interfering with the academic integrity, which is very important. Okay, now I will move to the implementation results. This section covers three parts: the development environment, the developed web interface, and the testing process. Next, let's discuss the technical stack first. So the backend was implemented using Laravel 12, where it handles routing, authentication, role-based access control, application logic, and database operations. The front end was implemented using React 19, connected through Laravel through Inertia v2. This allows the application to behave like a single-page application without requiring a separate API layer for every page. Tailwind CSS was used for responsive interface styling, where MySQL was used for the database and NGINX web server was used for serving the web application. The Laravel migration implemented the ERD structure, while Elocon ORM handled the relationship between users, courses, lessons, assessments, progress, schedules, attendance, and gamification records. Next. Okay, now this slide shows the main user interface example. This dashboard gives student an overview of the dashboard page, course page, and assessment page. As you can see from the image, the dashboard page contain the learning process, daily quests, streaks, achievements, leaderboards, upcoming schedules, courses, and recent activities. Now, for the courses page, the student can see the learning materials, lessons, one-to-one meetings, assessment, grades, and progress status. For the assessment page, as you can see from the image, it supports question navigation, answer submission, and power-up usage. The platform supports multiple choice, fill in the blank, and essay questions. Next. Okay, now let's discuss about the platform testing itself. The testing was conducted using unit testing and alpha testing. For unit testing, 228 Laravel PES tests were executed in a mock database environment. The tests covered authentication, role-based access control, user management, content management, assessment, scoring, remedial logic, messaging, scheduling, and gamification. While the main focus of this was business logic reliability, including score calculation, XP allocation, progress updates, and prevention of double updates. For alpha testing, 8 manual scenarios were conducted. These scenarios were covered student, tutor, and admin workflows, including course access, material reading, meeting participation, assessment completion, grading, attendance, scheduling, and progress monitoring. Okay, next. So, what is the conclusion? There are three main conclusions of my research. First, the platform combines modular high school mathematics content, one-to-one tutoring workflow, and gamification mechanism in one web-based system. Second, gamification elements such as XP, streaks, achievement, rewards, leaderboards, and power-up are connected to learning activities while keeping assessment score and final grade academically separate. Third, unit testing and alpha testing confirm that the core workflow operate as intended. For future work, the platform should be evaluated through empirical studies to measure student motivation, learning behavior, and learning outcome. Since my research is only an implementation study, not motivational or psychological research. And that concludes my presentation. This research is currently positioned as an implementation study. The platform is technically functional and can be used as a basis for educational evaluation. Thank you for your attention. I welcome any questions.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, Mr. Kevin. We will now move to the Q&A session. Please raise your hand if you have any question. Yes, please, Miss Rutin.
Okay, thank you, Miss Istifa, as moderator. I have two questions, but if the time is not enough, you can answer the one questions only. Okay, the first questions is many existing platforms such as Ruang Guru, Coursera, Duolingo, and other tutoring platform already provide learning modules, gamification, progress tracking, and some level of personalization. Could you clarify what the main novelty of your platform is compared to this existing solution?
Okay. Do you want me to answer the first question first, or do you want to ask the second question first?
Okay, answer first.
Okay, so the difference is as what I said before, yeah. Some platform like Coursera and Duolingo differs so much. Duolingo mainly focuses on gamification tactics, while Coursera mainly focuses on the curriculum. And both of them have mutual weakness. They don't have any interaction with the teacher, and in Duolingo itself, there isn't even a teacher, and you just walk through the curriculum. While the gamification feature is good, it lacks interaction, which doesn't really motivate the student so much. For the Coursera itself, yeah, um, it doesn't have a really good motivational impact. Where the where from what I researched before, a lot of the students or a lot of people only chases certificates, not the learning material itself. And this research solves both issue. Since we use empirical study, Coursera curriculums, and Duolingo gamification, and we combine three of them together. I hope to create a platform that solves all the problem, where it provides structured material, good interaction, and the gamification of Duolingo, which helps the students get motivation. And you may ask, doesn't the gamification itself disrupt the study? Well, regarding that, I already thought about it, so that in my research, in my developed platform, the users can only use gamification features such as buff, um, power ups only on the practice or the quiz. But on the real exam where the students can get the certificate, they cannot use any power up or buff at all. And that's my answer for your question.
Okay, thank you. Can I continue with the next questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I am interested with your statement about personalization in the introduction slide. You mentioned personalization as one of the platform value. Could you explain how personalization is implemented technically? Or maybe you can give a example, one of kind of the personalization.
Okay, so here's what the personalization of my research. So there is a thing that I haven't mentioned yet in the presentation, is that you can schedule a meeting between the student and the tutor personally using the chat feature. Okay, so when you create a schedule, you can agree with the tutor to set a set date to perform the meeting, which that Coursera doesn't have.
Okay, thank you so much. Success for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin and Miss Rutin. Now, let's we move on to our second presentation by Bunga Mesfer, Jordan, and Nazik Al-Turki from Kingswood University and Mrs. Nora bin Abdul Rahman University, Saudi Arabia, with title understanding student experience with notebook LM, a qualitative study. Okay, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Mona Sherdan, and on behalf of my research team, Nazik Turkey, Sarah Turkey, Muhammad Amin, we will present our research today. May I ask the session operator, please, to play the video due to technical issue and present the slides.
We cannot hear anything.
Yes, please hold on because we face some technical issue here.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, is there any sound that flow in this room? Sure.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending our presentation. My name is Mona Sherdan. Today, on behalf of our research team, I will present our study, Understanding Student Experiences with Notebook LM, a qualitative study. The presentation is organized into 4 sections. First, I will introduce the study and the research gap. Second, I will describe the methodology. Then I will discuss the findings from our thematic analysis. Finally, I will conclude with the implications of the study for higher education. Artificial intelligence has become increasingly influential in higher education, especially through its ability to support personalization, feedback, and self-regulated learning. More recently, advances in large language models have enabled the development of multimodal AI systems that can present information through multiple representations, including text, audio, visualizations, and conversational interactions. While these capabilities create new opportunities for learning, they also introduce important challenges. One of the most significant concerns relates to factual reliability and hallucinations, where models may generate convincing but inaccurate information. To address this issue, retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, has emerged as an important architectural approach. RAG grounds responses in external source materials, improving transparency and factual consistency. One of the recent representatives of RAG implementation is Notebook LM. So what's so special about it? Unlike general-purpose AI tools, it functions as a source-grounded collaborator that generates outputs from user-provided documents. And this is so important in education as it aligns closely with multimedia learning theory, which suggests that learners benefit when information is presented through multiple complementary modalities. However, despite growing interest in these systems, there remains limited understanding of how students themselves experience them in authentic learning environments. Although previous research has demonstrated the educational potential of various AI tools, much of the literature has focused on isolated functionalities, such as tutoring, feedback, or content generation. So as a result, we still know relatively little about how students engage with integrated multimodal AI systems that combine multiple forms of representation within a single learning environment. In addition, emerging tools such as Notebook LM remain underexplored from the learner's perspective. Therefore, this study was guided by the following research question. How do university students use Notebook LM to support their study practices in authentic learning contexts? To answer this question, we adopted an exploratory qualitative approach. The study was conducted in an undergraduate project management course at a public university in Saudi Arabia. Participants were 61 third-year female information systems students. Students were provided with a chapter from their course materials together with the lecture slides and were asked to upload these materials into Notebook LM. Then they independently explored the platform for approximately 45 to 60 minutes, interacting with features such as summaries, FAQs, study guides, and the deep dive conversational function. Following this exploration, students completed open-ended reflections describing their experiences with the tool and whether they intended to use it in the future. These reflections were analyzed using thematic analysis, allowing us to identify recurring patterns and students' perceptions, preferences, and challenges. I will now present the findings that emerged from that thematic analysis. Thematic analysis of student reflections revealed that Notebook LM was broadly perceived as a positive and motivating learning companion. Students highlighted its value across several dimensions of the study experience. Across the reflections, students generally appreciated its ability to support different learning preferences, help them study more efficiently, and provide alternative ways of engaging with the course content. At the same time, students didn't view the tool uncritically. They recognized both its strengths and its limitations, especially regarding technical and accessibility challenges. The thematic analysis revealed 4 interconnected themes that help explain these experiences. Together, these themes suggest that students value Notebook-LM not simply because it generates content, but because it supports learning through multiple modalities while remaining grounded in course materials. I will now discuss each of these themes in next slides. The first theme highlights Notebook-LM's ability to support different learning preferences through multiple representations of the same content. 12 students highlighted the podcast feature, 6 emphasized mind maps, and 25 specially mentioned summaries and questions and answer sections. What is interesting here is that students valued not only the content itself, but the flexibility to engage with the content through different modalities. The second theme concerns efficiency and productivity. Students frequently describe Notebook-LM as a tool that reduced the effort required to review and understand course materials. They appreciated the concise summaries, structured organization, and rapid access to relevant information. Several students reported that the platform enabled them to complete study tasks more quickly and with less efforts. One participant stated that she completed the lecture material in only 30 minutes. These findings suggest that Notebook-LM may support self-regulated learning by helping students focus on essential information while reducing unnecessary cognitive efforts. The third theme is especially important from a pedagogical perspective. Although students valued Notebook-LM, they generally didn't view it as a replacement for instructors. Instead, they described it as a supportive learning companion that could help with reviewing content, clarifying concepts, and reinforcing understanding. However, students emphasized the importance of human interaction, discussion, feedback, and instructor guidance during the lecture. This finding suggests that students already possess a comprehensive understanding of the role of AI in education. So rather than advocating replacement, they viewed AI as a tool that complements human teaching. The final theme highlights technical and accessibility challenges. Although students generally perceived Notebook-LM positively, several issues affected the user experience. Students reported slow podcast generation, limited language support, file compatibility concerns, and the absence of captions or transcripts. Also, these findings remind us that the success of education AI depends not only on pedagogical value, but also on usability and accessibility. Having discussed key findings, I will now summarize the main conclusions and their broader implications. To answer our research question, students used Notebook-LM primarily to simplify complex content, engage with multiple representations of information, and access formats that aligned with their individual learning preferences. Importantly, students demonstrated awareness of both the strengths and the limitations of the technology. This suggests that learners are not simply passive consumers of AI-generated content, but active evaluators of how these tools fit into their learning processes. Several practical implications emerge from these findings. First, multimodal AI tools should be positioned as complements to teaching rather than substitutes for instructors. Second, institutions should invest in AI literacy initiatives that help both faculty and students use these technologies effectively and critically. Third, technical reliability and accessibility should be prioritized to ensure equitable learning experiences. Finally, universities should establish clear governance and ethical frameworks to support responsible AI use. Thank you so much for your attention. I look forward to your questions and discussions.
Thank you for the presentation. The Q&A session is now open. Please feel free to raise any.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending our presentation.
Okay, Miss Mona, I feel interesting to your latest research, and I want to ask you two questions about your current research. Based on your study, what are the drawback that a student experience when using notebook LM for learning? And the second question is, since notebook LM use AI, did student mention any hallucination, like getting wrong information or getting wrong answer? And how did they handle it?
Good morning. Hi. This is Nazik
Okay,
speaking.
hi.
May I
Okay,
answer?
please, Nazik.
Yes, I'll be answering the first question regarding students' benefits while experiencing Notebook LM. They really enjoyed the mind maps because usually students use mind maps while studying. So it helped them conceptualize the main ideas regarding the lecture. They also enjoyed the podcast. They found it very interesting and a fun way of learning. So these are the main two benefits that students experienced while using. Second question that you mentioned, which was hallucinations. It did hallucinate. It was different for each student. The hallucination. Sorry, can you once again repeat your second question? I remember it was
Okay.
about hallucination.
Okay, Miss Nazik. Okay, I just asked, did your student mention any problem with AI hallucination? Maybe they getting wrong information or getting wrong answer, and how they tackle with that situation, Miss Nazik.
Okay, they did mention some of them actually, and I did experience some hallucination. They were provided with information that was not 100% accurate, uh, uh, but at the same time, students were given rely on the main lecture material that they were given, and that just use a notebook LM to help them better understand the material with all the different properties that was provided by the tool, like the podcast, as I just mentioned, the mind map, and the ability to chat with it.
Okay, understood. Okay, since they are just use notebook LM as to elaborate, and you as a teacher still provide the main guideline for them, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nazik,
Thank
for
you.
your answer. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any question that might raise during this session? Okay, I think that's enough for this session. Thank you, Miss Mona and Miss Nazik, for your presentation and your explanation due to your research. Okay, let's move on to the last
Thank you.
presenter. Okay, the last one is Miss Ruktin Handayani with paper title XGBoost with Optuna Hyperparameter Tuning for Competency Gap Prediction, a benchmark models for e-learning analytics. Okay, your time is 15 minutes to present, Miss Ruktin. Now the floor is yours. I guess that your mic still mute, Miss Ruktin.
Okay. So you show my slide with admin.
Okay, we already see your slide.
Okay, by admin ya. Okay. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Is my voice clear?
Yes, your voice are sounding clear, Miss Ruktin.
Okay, my name is Ruktin Handayani. I'm from Institut Teknologi 10 November, Surabaya, Indonesia. Today, I will present our research entitled XGBoost with Optuna Hyperparameter Tuning for Competency Gap Prediction, a benchmark model for e-learning analytics. This study explores how machine learning can support organization in identifying employees who may require learning intervention using integrated HR and learning management system data. Next. Okay. This is a presentation outline. There are 4 main sections. First, I will explain the research background and motivation. And second, I will describe the methodology used in the study. And third, I will present the experiment result and key finding. And finally, I will conclude with the practical implications and future direction of this research. Okay, let me begin with the background of this study. Okay, this slide illustrates the motivation behind our study. On the left, we see the global context. According to the World Economic Forum, 44% of workers' core skills are expected to change by 2027, while hundreds of millions of workers may require reskilling by 2030. And in the center, we show that the large organization already possess valuable data source, including competency frameworks, LMS learning record, and assessment result. However, current approach are often manual, time-consuming, reactive, and limit in coverage. Therefore, as shown on the right, machine learning provides an opportunity to transform existing data into proactive learning insight, enable early gap detection, target upskilling, and better workforce development. Okay, existing study mainly focus on learning analytic dashboard, recommendation system, and descriptive HR analytic. While these studies provide useful insight, they are generally descriptive rather than predictive. Our review identified several research gaps, including limited work on early risk identification, enterprise scale HR, LMS integration, systematic benchmarking on machine learning models, and explainability for HR practice. Therefore, the study aims to develop and benchmark machine learning models for predicting learning engagement gaps and to identify the factor that most influence prediction outcomes. Next. I will explain the methodology used in this study. Next. Please go to the next slide. Okay. This study follow a structured five-step methodology. First, HR data, LMS record, competency data, and assessment record were integrated into a single data set. Second, a two-tier labeling strategy was used to construct the learning engagement gap label. And then the third, the feature engineering was performed to generate 13 predictive features. For 7 machine learning models were trained and compared. Finally, the best perform model was interpret use shape analysis and practical evaluation to identify the key driver of prediction. And our overall goal was to identify both the most reliable predictive model and the most important factor associated with learning engagement risk. Okay, next. One of the challenges in this study was the limited availability of formal competency assessment data. To address this issue, we developed a two-tier labeling strategy. When assessment records were available, they were used as primary evidence. But when they were unavailable, learning behavior captured from LMS record was used as proxy evidence. These two sources were combined to create a learning engagement gap label. It is important to emphasize that this label represents an early risk indicator rather than indirect measurement of competency deficiency. Okay, after preparing the dataset and constructing the target label, we developed a benchmark framework to compare 7 machine learning methods. The purpose of this benchmark is not only to find highest performance model, but also to compare different types of machine learning approaches in a fair setting. The 7 model represent several model families. Logistic regression is used as simple linear baseline. Random forest represent ensemble tree-based learning. Support vector machine represent a kernel-based approach, and multi-layer perceptron represent a neural network model. Like GBM and XGBoost represent gradient boosting method, which are widely used for structured tabular data. And finally, we applied Optuna to optimize XGBoost hyperparameters. This allows the model to automatically see the better configuration instead of relying only on default setting. Through this benchmark framework, we aim to identify which model is the most reliable for predicting employee who may be at risk of learning engagement gaps. Okay, I will now present the main finding of this study. Okay, this slide presents the main benchmark result of the study. Among all evaluated models, XGBoost optimized with Optuna achieved the best overall performance. The model obtained an EUC of 0.8329, which indicates a strong ability to distinguish between employees with low and high learning engagement gap risk. It also achieved a recall of 0.7209. This is important because in this study, the objective is not only to make accurate prediction, but also to identify as many at-risk employees possible for e-learning intervention. And the F1 score of 0.6263 shows that the model maintains a reasonable balance between identifying at-risk employees and avoiding excessive false alarm. And overall, this result suggests that hyperparameter optimization through Optuna improve XGBoost performance and makes it a reliable model for early risk detection in enterprise learning analytics. Okay, to improve transparency and interpretability, we applied shape analysis. Rather than focus on technical details, this slide highlights the most influential factor identified by the model. And the top predictor include completion rate, total enrollment, and total certificate, and certificate per enrollment ratio. This finding suggests that learning behavior is stronger signal than many traditional employee characteristics. In other words, how employee engage with learning activity provide valuable information about future learning risks. Okay, let me conclude this presentation. In conclusion, XGBoost optimized with Optuna achieve the best predictive performance among all benchmark model. Both shape analysis and ablation study consistently demonstrate that learning behavior is the most important factor for predictive learning engagement gaps. This study contribute by integrating HR and LMS data, introducing a two-tier labeling strategy, benchmarking multiple machine learning model, and applying explainable AI. Okay, the last slide. I want to thanks to Indonesian Education Scholarship Center for Higher Education Funding and Assessment and Indonesian Endowment Fund for Education for supporting this research and my academic journey. I also thanks to my co-author, reviewers, and partner. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rupin, for your presentation. Now the Q&A session is open. Please feel free to raise any question or feedback.
Miss Naura, please go to first slide because I have to screenshot my cover of slide. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Rupin, I am interested on your latest research, and I want to ask you two questions regard to your research. The first one is I'm curious why did you choose to combine XGBoost with Optuna instead of using another machine learning method or tuning method? And the second one, could you explain how did you implement the SHAP analysis into your experiment? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. Why I use XGBoost and Optuna? We select XGBoost because it's the one of the most effective algorithm for structured tabular data. It can capture complex nonlinear relationship and consistently achieve the best performance in our benchmark. And why with Optuna was used to optimize the hyperparameters automatically, and this allows XGBoost to find a better configuration and improve predictive performance compared with the default setting. Okay, that's the answer of the first question, Miss Istifa. And then
Okay, Ms. Rupin.
the second question, can you repeat again?
How did you implement your SHAP analysis for AI transferable in your research?
Okay, shape analysis. Okay, shape analysis is a explainable AI technique that help us to understand how each feature contribute to model prediction. It improve transparency and interpretability. And then the most important finding is that learning behavior variable, especially completion rate, enrollment rate, and certification, are the strongest predictor of learning engagement gaps.
Okay, thank you very much,
Answer.
Ms. Rutin,
Okay,
for your wonderful explanation.
thank you.
Okay, with that, we have come to the end of the presentation of forum F3 today. I want to express my deepest gratitude to all of our brilliant presenter today, Mr. Kevin, Ms. Mona, Ms. Nazik, and Ms. Rutin for sharing their valuable research with us. Okay, before we close this session, I might ask you to open the cam because we want to screen capture this session due to our administrative requirement for this conference. Okay, please feel free to open camera because we want to screenshot. Okay, okay, okay. Please, we need your help, Naura, to screen capture. Is it enough? Okay. Okay, thank you also to everyone in the audience for your active participation and great question. I have a very great discussion today. You can find more information about the upcoming schedule and event on the ICADE 2026 official guide. Okay, please enjoy the rest of the conference and have a wonderful day ahead. And goodbye. Good morning.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Steffi.
Okay.